Hello, I'm VX Toycat, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Monday. This is a Let's Play I started after the most recent major update came out for Minecraft console, and which so far I've had quite a bit of fun with. I built myself two houses, as you can see. I built myself the battle minigame lobby, which looks kind of rough from this angle, but is mostly finished, and I think I'll be doing all of the finishing on some live stream at some point. But also, I've been working on the giant NPC city. So the idea here is it's a city where I've taken a lot of NPC village elements, like for instance housing, and I've made it more modern, or city-like. So instead of a village, an NPC village, it's an NPC city, and I really like the concept because instead of houses, we've got NPC villager apartments. Instead of a blacksmith, it's a blast forge. Instead of a church, we've got a giant temple, and so on and so forth. But there's a couple of things that actually are missing, and the first one is a well, which I'll be replacing with a beacon. Which, fun fact, I can actually finish today because last week I did, fight the wither and actually succeeded. But as well as that, I'm also going to be making today kind of a congregation area because I realized that was one of the other two things I was missing, and there's no real place for villagers to congregate. I mean, there's the big trading area out here, but that doesn't really work at night time. So I figured I would make a replication of one of the places where villagers currently, normal village, go to kind of just, chill out at night. But I figured I'd make a much cooler one, a much fancier one, and a much more, a much cooler one, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making kind of a retro throwback to their houses, but extending it and making it a modern restaurant. So that's what I'm doing today, making, I guess, what you could call a restaurant, but I think more seriously would be called like I don't know, like an NPC meeting area that just happens to be restaurant themed. So that sounds confusing, but hopefully I can explain as we go along. Hopefully you do all enjoy today's Let's Play. If you do, like and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know you do like this sort of Let's Play thing. With that said, let's get straight into it, and since I already know the dimensions, this is pretty easy to do. A MC Village house that I'm thinking of anyway, so, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. MC Village house I'm thinking of anyway is 9 by 6 blocks, so that means by doing something as simple as this, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something as simple as that, we now know that, oh yeah, so this is the size of the NPC congregation area. Also, look at that rabbit entirely trapped under there. Now we know it's 9 by 6, this is what it would look like if it was a 1-to-1 scale, but like I said, I don't want it to be a perfect replication because that would just look odd. I want it to be like a throwback to a normal village. So what I'll do instead is, instead of going to 6 and then stopping and cutting across here, I'll extend it massively this way to make it rectangular, but in the other direction. And hopefully, we can kind of make the interior kind of match that and maybe do some other cool stuff to make it fit. But yeah, I figure instead of going for 6 blocks, we go for at least 12. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then maybe even go all the way to 15. So it's 2.5 times wider, or longer, I guess. So instead of fitting like 5 or 6 villages in and then getting cramped, we can fit like 20 villages in there. So yeah, that's the plan here. Let's see if everything goes to plan. So let's just quickly remove all the sand, because we need glass anyway at some point, because this thing uses a lot of that. And let's work on the front of this. So just so you can get a real picture of the type of village house I'm making, I'll start, I guess, working on the thing, and you'll slowly see it come to fruition. That's the plan anyway. So we need a lot of stone on this stack in particular. We need a lot of stone over here. I think it's like a whole 4 blocks up or something like that. And then we're also going to need a bunch of wooden slabs, or a bunch of, actually, no, we need slabs too, and a bunch of staircases. So let's make both those things en masse now. So all the staircases we need, and then we probably need even more slabs than staircases, because there's going to be a big flat portion of the roof. Oh, in fact, I can make a second floor to it and make it really fancy. Let's work on the front, and then let's kind of envision it from there. I think that's a good place to go with Minecraft builds, to kind of just have a vision which you work on as you go along, because sometimes you realize, oh god, everything's, going awfully, and you need to back off that. So, anyway, today, as always, I like to talk about certain other things while I build, because, there's only so long I can talk about an oak door, although, why don't we try, actually? So, oak doors, not only are they made of oak, but they are doors, too. Do you guys ever see that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just the wackiest thing in the world? Nope, that's me out of oak door talk. But yeah, so to actually, the one thing I've been thinking about a lot this week is North Korea, because when I was on the way to Gamescom, because I took the train route, it was really relaxed and stuff, and I'd just be like, I'll just pull out my laptop now or whatever thing I brought with me, and I'm going to watch documentary. I'd like to pronounce it fancy, because it's like, ooh, you don't just watch documentaries, you watch documentaries. Ooh, isn't that quite something? I don't know actually where the pronunciation comes from, but it's just the way the thing happens. But anyway, so I was watching a documentary on... Sorry, I can't even say it without thinking myself now, but I was watching a documentary on... North Korea, and North Korea is one of those places that is just astoundingly interesting to everyone, right? Because, to the rest of the world, it's like, you look at it and it's like, wow, that is the only isolated country left. Like, right now, you can find people in, the Amazon, as in, the forest here, just to clarify, not like the website's warehouse or something. You can find people that are like, actually have never or haven't seen a human in however long, or have just never been touched by humans. There are still people on Earth like that, but they're very, very rare, right? And the one big exception to this is North Korea, where the people just aren't allowed to be exposed to other cultures, and that's always been the craziest of things, because especially when you hear that, their government tries to convince them that, oh yeah, life is perfect here, life everywhere else sucks, and, the immediate thing a lot of people go to is like, but what if they're telling the truth? What if life really is awesome there and just sucks everywhere else? And it's one of those things that, even though I know the way human minds work, and I know that it is just one of those things where, everyone likes to believe crazy, mind-blowing facts because they just sound cool. Like, if I told you right now, what if I told you, like, right, that air didn't exist? You'd be like, wow. And it doesn't take much effort to convince you that. Whereas if I tried to convince you that, like, let me think of a really boring fact that, also is counterintuitive. What if I told you that, like, oh yeah, did you know that penguins actually breathe fire? You would require a significant amount of proof of that. Whereas, air not being real, you might be like, whoa, that's pretty crazy stuff, Toycat. You with the Illuminati right now, which I don't know why. I feel like I must get this more than like anyone else, or maybe it's just a YouTube joke. But I get people to think I'm in the Illuminati on a alarmingly regular basis, right? The people just like, well. You saying a lot of smart stuff right now, Toycat. Watch out for the Illuminati. Well, I mean, that's the other side of things. But there's also like, funny. Maybe there was like a New World organization that taught you all that stuff. And that's another one of these examples where it's just like, it's so easy to believe that, oh yeah, there's this big evil organization that's behind all the wrongdoing in the world. Definitely not just, the way things happen. Definitely big evil stuff. Also, do you like how this is coming along? I'm going to this bed because I need the glass, by the way. I'm not just taking the longest route to bed possible. Because there's a furnace over here, and because I use so much glass for the battle lobby, I just have it all chilling here anyway. In fact, also, what we'll do this episode is, I'll turn on the beacon, and that can be like my well, like a super futuristic 3D well. Because this is finishing up on the opinion on North Korea actually first. I'm trying to make a better, so I hope this actually comes across every now and then, but like, I'm trying to make a better effort at, one, finishing thoughts, and two, like, not speaking so fast all the time necessarily. But so one of the things that also, do I need? Oh yeah, I was gonna take the glass. That's what I was doing. That's what I'm here for. I'm glad I remembered. But so I've been making a better effort on actually like speaking and finishing a point, and also trying to speak a bit slower. Because I it's not just necessarily speaking slower. It's just having a pause every now and then. Because I could talk for 20 minutes with no pauses whatsoever in any of the breaks, and I think having a small pause after each sentence can really like it actually like helps the brain kind of absorb it. And it's not until every now and then I watch a video of my own, I'll be like, I can't even sometimes follow it. I was like, let's give this a try then. And I think just having a small pause every now and then, even though it feels so counterintuitive, because to me it comes across as almost like awkward to the viewer, right? 'Cause they're like, oh, I guess he just has nothing to say. And that's never the case. There's always like a billion things I want to say. But I've come to the point where it's like, sometimes small pauses are okay. So, yeah, with that said, Ashley, as you can see, we run into some problems here because the windows can't go all the way to the edge. I guess we'll just make it even longer to have like a fourth row of windows there. Yeah, I think that sounds fair. Or, I know, or we could just make this the end, like, make it just over double the length. I think that's more realistic. Never make a build too big. That's another tip I picked up. But yeah, so going back to North Korea. I've always been fascinated by the idea, what if they are the ones telling the truth and we're the ones that actually have the awful lives? And because there's no way you can really prove that, because, I mean, even though, you're taught that your country is rich, not everyone in the country is rich, right? What if blank, blank, blank X? It's just one of those things that every now and then I do consider. But yeah, North Korea, don't worry. A lot of people are like, calling me out for saying like it would be interesting to go there. I will say right now, it is definitely not a country which is nice in any way. And going there as a tourist is one of the most risky like moves you can make, really. And it's just kind of a bad idea. Like if you want to go somewhere nice, North Korea is not that. But if you just want to go somewhere crazy interesting, I think kind of like going to... So I've been to Chernobyl, if you don't know. I think it's kind of the same vein of just like, this is just a cool place. Like, going somewhere horribly radioactive isn't something I'd recommend as like, oh yeah, so if you just want to take some time off and get away from things, oh yeah, go to Chernobyl. The radiation totally makes you calm down and chill out and stuff. But, the reality is that, it's interesting. And interesting is sometimes better than cool. And I've gone over the whole, like, oh, I think the change is a really good thing, and I could beat that dead. Yeah, I was gonna say dead drum, but dead horse all day. But instead of beating a dead horse over and over again, because the horse is dead, we should give it some space. I figure instead I just say I reckon there's some secret angle to North Korea that no one probably knows, because the fact that they spend so much money on convincing foreigners their country's good when it has no impact on because. You gotta think, they spend, if you ever seen, anyone go into North Korea, they make sure they stay at the nicest hotel, they make sure that, they only see really, really nice things, and part of that's because, you just don't want anyone seeing your failures. Imagine if your school project was, a country, and you knew you messed up and you didn't want the teacher to see it, you'd be like, oh, do you want to look at this picture of my dog instead? Or, that's a terrible analogy, but you get the point, you don't want to show off your worst bits to the world. But they spend a lot of money on it, and I wonder if there's, a missing piece to the puzzle. So, yeah, North Korea talk. I should probably leave it now, because I feel like the longer you discuss North Korea, the more and more downhill you're going to end up going. But yeah, that was just a kind of a cursory thing that I was thinking about, because the place it led me was to the question that I had when I last discussed North Korea, which is so if you were in charge of North Korea, someone just says, guess what, you're going to be the new supreme leader here. What would you do, and would you enjoy it? And obviously the first thought is oh no, that must suck, having to live in North Korea. I'm now banned from North Korea, by the way. Oh, that's a thing, because I've made a video saying anything negative about North Korea, there's no way I can risk going there now. They will, research me, they'll find this, and then I'll be taken to a back room and never leave. I don't like the sound of that, personally. So, just in case you are, worried or curious or anywhere in between, don't worry, it's not a thing. But, yeah, I was thinking, I was responding to that, so what would it be like to be Supreme Leader of North Korea? And my immediate thought is just, that'd be pretty great, right? Imagine, living in a place where no one can question you because they go missing if they question you. Wouldn't that be pretty great? And I think there definitely is an element of that. Yeah, it must be pretty awesome to have no one even have the ability to question me, let alone, wanting to. And then you realise, all the downsides and stuff. And one of the things I think, because, I have this fantasy, I'm pretty sure everyone has some inkling of this, right? Where it's I would love to live in a place where, based on no merit or skill, I have to do nothing all day and people praise me for it. I'd love it if I could wake up in the morning, play a bit of, Pokemon, let's say, or some Minecraft, in fact, work on my minigame build, and then in the evening, someone will be like, wow, you did a great job today, sir. Which I guess that's what I do right now, right? Some people are like, wow, Toy Cat, nice build. So, you know what, you're helping me live my dream right now, just not in North Korea. But, anyway, trying to lure this one back. It's it's on a fishing rod again. We'll lure this back in, because, so I think we want to have, that up here, and this will just be the roof, right? It's really, really high. So, yeah, I think I need to look at this from the side before I can make a true judgment. But I think it goes for the look I'm going for, of yep, giant house / restaurant thing. On the outside, it looks really rustic, because when you look at the things it's made out of compared to everything around it, it actually looks really, really, old school. That's good. Okay, we're making progress. That's good. But yeah, so my initial thought is oh, it would be cool to be somewhere where, people literally think, this is something I got from the interview, the North Korea film, but people think he doesn't poop, and that's no benefit to that for me, but it's something that just shows the amazing amount of power he has, right? But yeah, basically I think the downside to it is life, if you like success. So I think there are people out there that either don't like success or don't know I don't know how to put this, but there are people that crave it and spend their lives going after it, and there are people that don't. And I feel the problem with success is a way to motivate yourself is you always need to be doing better and better. And if someone tomorrow made me the king of North Korea, or the supreme leader or whatever, I feel where's the room for promotion there? Because even though Kim Jong-un, is it Kim Jong-un? Yeah, Kim, the guy who's in charge right now, even though he's supreme, he was supreme commander from his whenever he got initiated, then he became marshal of the army or something. He's got a bunch of titles, and I guess that would make you feel good if you believed in the system. And then I realized being head of North Korea is like playing a video game, right? It's totally the same thing, because it's you just got to kind of pretend it's real. Oh yeah, we're totally the best country. It's like playing a Civ or something. And you got to kind of lie to everyone, oh yeah, we're doing really well right now. Just finished up on this great new piece of I don't know, human rights stuff. and then all the while you're actually doing horrible. So I need to get this done exactly the same, because I don't want it to be unsymmetrical. So place the staircase there, and then we'll follow it all the way up. Because, yeah, I realised that I don't know how many, like, blocks this thing actually has to go across. So then we'll place a staircase here, and then one up here, etc. But yeah, so I came to the conclusion that, like, if you were in control of North Korea, it would be the same as being a, you know, it'd be the exact same as playing a video game. And then I thought, wouldn't that be awesome? Like, what if it actually, you know, what if, you know, new video game, just North Korea Simulator, try and govern the place? I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want it to be real people, because that's really sad, and you know, if you ever look at stuff there, I wouldn't recommend it because it's super depressing. But it is a very bad country. Don't let me make light of the fact that things are awful there. But I think being in control would be it'd be an interesting video game if you didn't care about people, I guess. I should clarify all of that right now, because otherwise we were like, ooh, that's a slightly offensive opinion. But you know what? I think offensive opinions are good, and the reason I think that is because if you believe that, like, every opinion should be accessible and non-offensive. I think, like, you know, there's... Oh, this isn't the same level, is it? Yeah, we're a level higher up for some reason. Oh, no, I think I made a mistake here, because... So 1, 2, 3, 4... Wait, I need to count this, make sure it's the same number. This is 5 staircases. I think on the other side I used less. Okay, wait. Just to make sure I haven't made a horrible mistake here, and that mistake's there instead. So this is 5 staircases. This is 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay. It means this is the mistake. That's good. It's a lot easier to fix one bit of stairs than, like, several bits of stairs. But yeah, I think offensive opinions are a good thing, because if you try and deliberately make every opinion kind of harmless, then you're kind of fitting it into the same already existing thoughts. And, you know, although a lot of the time the thoughts that are existing exist for a reason. You know, there's a reason right now that... Let me think of a crazy idea, right? We don't... I don't know, poison the water supply just for giggles. You know, if you were to suggest that as an idea, I'd say, no, Sir Simon, you know, I'm going to call you Simon now, because clearly that's who you are. No, we're not going to poison the water supply. There's no benefit to that. But I think, you know, when it comes to, like, certain things, it's good to just have an out there, crazy, strange opinion. Like, you know, when I say that cities are actually just the future of places, people who aren't from cities, because I know that, in particular, a lot of Americans, like, really don't like the city environment. They're like, no, the future is, you know, here in the wild and stuff. I've never really liked that as you know, I think that if you're offended for a brief second, that's good, and then you realize, oh, this is what they mean. Whereas if you have to, like, skip to the this is what they mean section, then you kind of lose some of the message, you know. And I think, you know, when you communicate with other humans, that's something that happens already, right? Like, you can never perfectly communicate your soul, your feelings to someone else, right? Like, I can't tell you right now the very emotions I'm feeling. The way you have to tell people stuff is with words, which, that's, you know, right now, I'm telling you my thoughts and feelings using words. So, I'm sure no one's surprised right now, like, whoa, you're right, Toy Cat, you are using words, isn't that crazy? But, the point I'm trying to get to of this is that, the purer, there's got to be some pure way to eventually get those thoughts, feelings, and when you get to the stage where you're telling, where you have to kind of, like, because, yeah, again, one of the things, I've never been a fan of, like, trying too hard to censor myself, as far as, like, not swearing, it's just like, well, then I can make a better point by not doing it, and then, if I do randomly throw one out, or even, okay, so, it's like, I see a lot of people who, like, when I mentioned how some people would, like, say, you know, certain comments, because I'm a British YouTuber, I'd be like, oh, they like to call me a, you know, British cigarette or something. That's, in my opinion, that's funnier than British. It's fag even as well. You know, I guess it depends on where you're from. Here, it's actually popular slang for cigarette, but also because of American culture, it goes along the same way. And it's actually one of the more offensive things I find when it's, like, said to me. It's like one of those things that's like, oh, yeah, this is someone who's just trying to offend. Because there's no particularly great reasons to use the word in context. In here, it's actually, again, over in the UK, I believe, I hope I don't get this wrong, it's some form of, like, meal, because I know it because of meatballs. Anyway, point I'm trying to raise here is the more you, that's like a separate point, but the more you have to kind of, like, censor your thoughts, the less meaning you actually get across with them. And when people are just saying words at each other and nothing's getting done, that's when there's a problem. And this isn't like any talk. Let me just clarify. I'm never ever talking about, like, political discussion is what I'm trying to say. What I just mean is, like, if you're having a conversation, rather than just jumping in and saying, aha, offensive, I think you can, one, get some of the best humor out of offense, but two, you get some of the best discussions out of something that is deemed a horribly offensive subject, and I think it's a good way to, I want to say, like, bond with someone, like, when you're willing to discuss the offensive stuff, that's when you know if stuff is good, and yeah, the less normal something is, the better it usually actually works as a tool to talk to people. So maybe when I say that, you know, being the leader of North Korea is like playing a video game, or that, you know, I think self-driving cars are just going to be better than cars, or, you know, there's a few, like, slightly controversial opinions out there. I think the city's one where I say it, like, you know, people in small villages are living in the past, people in cities are living in the future. You know, when you say something like that, it's best for it to be a little bit offensive. Because if I tone that down, what I say instead is, I think that the amount of stuff in cities is slightly larger. Then what do you even get from that? You don't get anything. So hopefully there was some point in all of that. It's something I've been thinking about quite a bit recently, because I think is this going to go forwards? It's not. Okay, so I'm trying to, like, do this correctly, but it's actually genuinely pretty tricky. Because when you get too far on the edge of a block, it does this, which is so annoying to me. Okay, you know what? If we just jump. Okay, and we just have to jump at the right moment, and then we can do that. Finish that block. Yeah, okay, we got this basically done. So yeah, that's the points I wanted to raise today. North Korea, I've been watching a lot of stuff on it, because I was going to make a video on the second channel about Korean unification, because a lot of people have this impression that just at some point the two countries will merge, and that gets, like, less and less likely every year, because if you don't know, like, the only country that's really properly remerged together because it was forced against its will is, like, East and West Germany, and even that, which is a country, which, you know, right now you just assume there's one Germany, there's still, like, a lot of stuff that's, like, going wrong. Anyway, I don't know how like, you know, the Let's Play of Toy Cat ended up having a little bit of, you know, geography, North Korea mixed in. I guess North Korea's geography, isn't it? But yeah, there's something you might not have known about something or other. This building is mostly finished now. Not entirely. Darn it! Not entirely. But, you know, we just got, like, a few rough details around the edge to work out. And then there's the inside, of course. So what I'm thinking on the inside is cover the floor in some sort of slab. Oakwood slabs might work. You know, actually, let's give it a look. Oakwood slabs are nice, but they're not nice enough. So I'll use something more like probably acacia slabs, just because they're crazy out there. Then I'll have some tables, and it'll be just a nice place for villagers to meet. And because I'll use half slabs, nothing else will be able to spawn in there. It'll be a safe place for villagers, and won't that be lovely? So yeah, that is this episode of the Let's Play. Oh wait, one more thing. There's one detail every villager house needs when you have it slightly above the footstep. So, one sec. No ending just yet. No outro for you. Boom. Okay, so now as you can see, this is my NPC villager restaurant, or, like, communal area. I actually rather like it. I thought if you just stretched a village house, you'd get something kind of weird. But it doesn't look quite so questionable as I figured. It really does. Oh, geez, that creeper could have got me, couldn't he? It really does have the kind of, you know, thing I'm going for of just like, oh, jeez. But yeah, it has the thing I'm going for of just, like, look at everything else around it. It's all made from relatively modern, relatively vibrant blocks. And then we've just got, oh yeah, cobblestone, wood, glass. And I like that kind of mix-up. So, anyway, yeah, I hope you did all enjoy this episode of the Let's Play. If you did like it, like the video, let me know. If you didn't like what I was talking about, then let me know. If you did, also let me know. You know, I think, you know, let me know. Or LMK, as the kids say these days. There's so many acronyms I'm just bad at. But, yeah, that's something that you can do. Besides that, I will see you all in the next video. Or I'll see you at some point in the week, probably to stream this, because I want this to be done. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.